Hey everyone, welcome to Ink Scribes, the comics podcast where we discuss the art and craft of comics. I'm Colin Singh. I'm an aspiring comics artist and lifelong student of the craft. And I'm joined by my co host Eric Zawadzki, artist on Assorted Crisis Events, out now from Image Comics, and Taylor Stauft, creator of From Fire and Blood, a Jason Jang adventure, and soon to come, Luke Zenith's Wedding Day as part of the anthology Faster Than Light, Volume 2, and the pre launch Kickstarter link will be in the description below. Today, a very special episode, the first in a multi part odyssey into the career of David Mazzucchelli. Today, we're going to be looking at Batman Year One.
Great pronunciation. Mazzucchelli.
Mazzucchelli!
According to a YouTube short I found of him explaining it, that's how you're supposed to say it. Mazzucchelli.
Right on.
But I'd imagine most people just say Mazzucchelli.
Mazzucchelli, one of the two. Yeah, it's strange. So, yes, today we're going to be going over the artist edition. This thing, 21 inches of I believe it's like
Don't
17?
lead with 21 inches.
But as you can see, like this is the absolute editions, provided by our very own Eric, and god damn, this thing is enormous. So
yeah, I'll be following along with mine. Can you just actually, before you go into it, for the audience, just describe the production quality of both books, both the artist edition and the absolute edition? Like the paper stock, the binding, everything is A plus on
these
this.
things are fantastic. What's great about the absolute edition is that you actually get both versions. Like, look at that. We got
Richmond Lewis colored the original newsprint floppies and then also colored the mass media trade paperback version. Because the thing about color is it changes based on the paper you're using. And
boy, does it.
Yeah. The problem with a lot of modern reprints of like older comics is that they were meant to be colored with newsprint in mind. And so when they're printed on glossy paper, it just doesn't fully work. So what's great about this absolute edition is, way back in the 80s, she got a chance to color with both papers in mind. And this is a prime example of why you should change your approach based on the paper.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even with the original newsprint, she was working with relatively high quality newsprint. I think rather than the typical 20, it was 37 pounds, which at one point in my life I knew what the poundage meant, but I
think it's just like based on a pallet of paper. I might be wrong. But
it's something. Yeah, it's something like that. Like it's a specific.
It's the weight of a pad of paper. Yeah.
But you're right. When they went into production, I think only a year later, for the mass market paperback, she was able to use that time and the increased paper quality to, like, it's vastly different.
It's fascinating to compare.
Yeah. Because even when it's something similar like this, it's not quite the same. Like, she is making deliberate choices for the tint of the paper, the weight of it, everything that goes into it, which makes sense. She's a painter. She's a fine artist. She's David Mazzucchelli's wife, and according to him, the best artist that he knows, which is why he wanted her to be involved in this. So it's nice that, as far as I can tell, to this day, they're still together, still making art together. That's pretty sweet. I like seeing it. But let me know when you want to refer to the colors. Let's get into this beauty, because, oh my god, this thing... As soon as I saw it, I was just like, I have to have this. This is my favorite Batman story of all time. I must have this in my life. And ordered it, I think, like 8 months in advance, just to ensure I was going to get this.
Yeah, I think around this time last year it came out, and it seemed like all the cool kids had it, and it felt like I was the only one on social media that didn't get this book.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised that you didn't actually, because it's it's right up all of our alleys. Um, yeah, what's great about these though is that you get to see like a lot of this back matter is in these as well. In the, I think even my shitty trade paperback from 2005 has a lot of this stuff. But
Not as
uh,
much though. I have that trade paperback, and I don't think.
no, yeah, not as much, and not as intricate, not as detailed. Not You don't get to see it at
Mm.
that same size. Yeah. So what's interesting about his is that he uses. Well, this isn't necessarily something that doesn't happen, but he for this specifically he did uh, cast people to be the characters because this is like the reboot, right? This is coming in for after Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they need to redefine the Batman. So we got Gregory Peck as the model for Bruce. Weirdly, he says he was thinking of Robert Duvall of all people
Huh.
for Jim Gordon. Which, having just recently seen The Conversation, 1974 is The Conversation with
Coppola.
yeah, that features Duvall in a uncredited cameo. It's like I really don't see it, but he references it more of like I was thinking about him. I wasn't referencing him. I was trying to bring that energy, which is already kind of
Yeah.
like an indication of how Mazzucchelli's coming to this.
I guess the physicality of Duvall, the acting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like the feeling that he gives.
I can see that, but I got a mild like Charlton Heston slash Marlon Brando vibe from the Gordon depiction.
That makes more sense,
Is
right?
that a
Yeah,
reach, or can you see it?
I can see it. I can see it. Just kind of like he's older, he's gruffer, he's kind of aging
Doesn't
into
have
his
time for your
face.
shit, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Eric.
I find it interesting that in the Absolute Edition you get the full script, which you don't get anywhere else. You don't get
it's
it in this
true.
artist
Yeah,
edition. You don't get it in any of the trades. And I'm a huge Frank Miller fan, and I'm always fascinated, where the writing begins and the art begins, and who came up with what. So I did kind of go through the script with a fine tooth comb just to look for interesting things. And there's a couple of things that I noticed where like I believe if you see pencil marks on the script page, that's Mazzucchelli. But if you see
right,
pen marks on the script page, that's Frank Miller.
Mhm.
right. So even for
So,
like page 3 already, question?
uh, and it looks like this was maybe faxed to
Hmm.
Mazzucchelli, or yeah, I don't know. And so the pen mark was basically came with what he got, and then he used a pencil to do little doodles or actually early on you don't see layouts, but later on in the script, like every page he does, uh, like if you go further, issues like 2 and 3 of the scripts, you can see that he has drawn the grids that he intends. Which what that tells me is
Yeah,
that
we can see
he,
that here. Yeah,
yeah, and eventually it's on like every page. And
yeah,
the conclusion I come to is that he read the script and pictured the page design in his head and then drew out that grid, and he pretty much sticks to it. Like it doesn't change at all from that initial vision, if that's what happened. But the reason I think that's what happened is because I sometimes do that.
sure.
I'll read the script and envision it and go, okay, well that's going to be 2 panels on the top, and then I clearly need a widescreen panel for this panel. So the only way to make that work is if the panel before it is a square. Like you kind of like do the calculations in your head, and that's what it seems like he did. But again, there's just speculation.
No, that makes a lot of sense though, right? Like it's like he's been doing this a long time. His first work is on like Indiana Jones and well, actually no, I shouldn't say that. He wasn't working for a long time, but he is a trained artist from RISD and the Rhode Island School of Design, and
Second week in a row, we're mentioning that.
that's right.
That
Yeah,
school.
Yeah.
it's where comic art comes from. But you know, he's a very he thinks about art. Like you can tell from the way he writes about it, he is thinking deeply about art, not just panel layout, but like how the panels interact with each other. Like
Mhm.
I actually surprisingly have his very first Daredevil work here, and while he's working on Daredevil, he and his wife are actually living in Italy for a while.
Oh, interesting. There's
Yeah,
something about Italy that if you have a stay there, you become a better artist. I don't know, like
it's
it's just something
because
about the
it's
environment.
it's because there's well one there's so many museums, but there's just art everywhere. Like there are sculptures on the ends of bridges that are just they're just regular pedestrian bridges, but they've been there for hundreds of years. So you are just really surrounded by it, and I think you can't really shut it out
Huh.
Mhm.
when you're living there. Um,
Okay,
you
I'm
know,
gonna try to live in Italy for at least a year one of these days.
it's real. I mean,
One of these years, I'll become a better artist.
I spent 20 days there, and I felt yeah, I'm coming back at least recharged. Not better, obviously, eh, but recharged. The only thing you really miss is the personal space that you get in North America.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Say, fellas, though, I'm trying to follow the script along, and it looks like chapter one, the first couple pages don't happen the way it goes in the
Well,
script.
the first page is right. The second page is from the third issue. So I don't know, like either. So that's supposed to be issue one, the first four script pages, but
Right.
either a mistake was made or they just
Yeah,
don't have the second page. Like maybe Mazzucchelli gave all the assets to production at DC, and page two was missing, and so they just sort of substituted a different page two,
now is
or somebody made a mistake. But like,
now
yeah, that second page is from issue three.
Okay.
what I really don't get though is page one, sitting down past the looking down past the huge silhouette of a bat at Bruce. I mean, when I think of that, like it's this. Is this page one?
That is page
Oh,
one. Yeah.
interesting. Well, I guess because
Really?
it's because it's I guess it was envisioned as there would be chapter
Oh,
introductory
okay.
pages,
Right.
which is
It-
interesting because
But
there was a clear vision that they had
yeah.
together.
but it also serves it's as a title page to this chapter in that, like at the end of the first issue, it shows Bruce in the chair, bleeding out, and the bat crashes through the window, right?
Oh, good call.
So
It's foreshadowing what is going to be coming.
right, or it's like a spot title illustrate, like they do in novels.
Yeah, which is that's you guys have read far more comics than I have.
Hmm.
This is new as far as I can tell. Like that's not something.
Especially for like big two like monthly
Hmm.
comics.
Yeah.
But they were trying to make this special. What's interesting is it was like Batman number 408 and 409, and nowadays it would be its own miniseries because they got to get a Batman number one.
Which it
Yeah,
was
It'll sell more with a number one on it.
a lot
yeah.
of this was that was one of the original plans. There were a lot of plans for this book. It was supposed to be part of the Metropolis line, which was a proposed reboot of the Big Three, and but Miller was involved in that,
The
and then he
Trinity.
got told, yeah, and
Mm.
then he got told, oh no, we're actually going to be rebooting with like everything with the Crisis on Infinite Earth series,
Oh,
and
interesting.
a lot of that got ported over here, and then when this came about, it was originally supposed to be a standalone graphic novel, but the sales of Detective Comics were not doing so well. Is it Detective or Batman?
Man.
Yeah,
Batman.
the sales of Batman, like it's it's not even, you can't even mistake what it is. It's goddamn Batman, and it's not doing so well. So they're like, well, but what if we took Frank Miller, who's just coming off of the Dark Knight Returns, and Daredevil Born Again, and the artist of Daredevil Born Again, and put them on the regular title as this origin reboot, which I can appreciate. You got to keep that money flowing.
Yeah, I had never heard of this Metropolis line. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't. It sounds like it didn't make it past the pitch to an editor. Like I don't think it even made it past like whoever that editor reported to. It
Mm.
sounded more like, Frank, I'm going to stop you right there. It's a great idea, but Crisis on Infinite Earths is already being written, and because they had to give Perez a huge amount of lead time to draw everybody, so it was in the works for quite a while.
What's interesting is that this comic came out within 12 months of all the major Frank Miller works in the
Yeah, that's
80s.
true. Yeah,
Like everything was coming out within this maybe 12 to 18 month span, like Elektra Assassin, Daredevil Born Again,
yeah.
Dark Knight Returns, and Year One. All this stuff was like, it's so crazy to think that these monumental works of art all came out in the span of like a year and a half.
Not to mention, Watchmen's coming out at the same time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
So for this, according to my research, one of the things that Mazzucchelli is trying to do is really trying to. He talks so much about creating a reality rather than reflecting it. But it's interesting that he that's what he says now. But like this is an actual train station that he references. This is the train station of the uh, Erie, New Jersey train station near where he lives.
Yeah, I mean, it looks legit.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I did want to draw attention to uh, when he says he's trying to create a reality. I think what he's talking about is he's really trying to not be a slave to detail. Like he is perfectly willing to drop detail out because in this ink reality, you don't need things like the little lines that show you the stairs that are going up. You can just make snow this blanket white area.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I guess he's working with his wife on coloring, so they could kind of, I mean, they can have conversations about this. It's very easy
well,
to have conversations about this stuff, right?
and I think this is that's true. And I think as two art nerds, they're probably really like gassing each other up about like where's this art gonna go? What are we gonna do with it?
Mm.
And I think this is kind of the beginning of his further abstraction that you'll see in Colin. What is it? City of Glass.
Yeah. City of Glass. I got it right
City of
here.
Glass and
Booyah.
Asterios Polyp.
Stereo's polyp.
Asterios
Yeah,
Polyp.
Asterios
Yeah.
Polyp.
Right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Like he is abstracting far more from that, but
Yeah. Big time.
as he goes. But this is kind of the beginning of, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to start dropping stuff out. You don't need a lot of detail, so that when he does provide detail, I think it really
Yeah, it's
hits.
him sort of going further into expressionism. Whereas, would you say his Daredevil run that was more representative?
I think so, yeah. But he is. I know that he says that he is starting to think about expressionist stuff, which is he points to Sienkiewicz actually as like
Oh, okay.
that's a great example
Really?
of expressionism. Yeah, even though like yeah, I wouldn't say that they're similar at all.
Well, to add to that, if you can go back to page 2, January
Yeah.
4th. So the way the story is structured it's by days over a year. But if you look at two different panels, so panel 2, sitting beside Gordon is a woman breastfeeding her baby, which is like a it's It's not something you see every day, but it happens.
Especially not in
But the
1986.
detail,
Yeah.
the detail is so stripped down that it's just dots and for a nose and eyes but you can
Oh, that's a
definitely tell it's a woman breastfeeding her baby, right? There's no
yeah,
mistaking it. And if you go to panel 5, it's the airplane window, the side profile of Bruce Wayne's face. I mean, this panel, it's very, very minimal, but it shows the mastery of Mazzucchelli at this time. Like, there's a slight smirk in Bruce Wayne's face. You know it's an airplane window because the previous shot was an airplane, but just the way he didn't include all the other airplane windows in a row. He just let that one airplane window serve as its own panel with the
yeah,
captions, right? Like it's minimal.
yeah,
It's again, he's going back to just stripping away everything to just what you need.
yeah. Because this definitely feels like a space where if you're starting out, if you submitted this, an editor would tell you, well, that's a lot of wasted space.
Yeah, maybe depending on the editor, but yeah,
That's
Depending on the
true.
editor,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
can see a Philistine editor
Yeah.
saying that.
Yeah. But
Like who, Eric?
I don't know
Nah.
anybody specific, but it's
we don't
possible.
know nobody. Yeah. Um, I have seen various theories that this is not actually the same Batman as in The Dark Knight Returns. There's a lot of, especially during like the golden age of the internet and
Well,
websites that
uh,
did a lot of think pieces like that. But I do know Mazzucchelli came in thinking, no, they're the same. This is a
yeah.
straight line.
When All Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder came out, Miller did say, I don't know if it was Miller in an interview or Jim Lee, but it was established that Year One, All Star, and Dark Knight were all in the same universe, and
I remember that.
the
Yeah, yeah,
25-year-old Bruce Wayne from Year One and All Star is the same Batman who becomes the 52-year-old Batman in Dark Knight Returns.
yeah.
And yeah, the one last thing on this page, on page 3, you notice not so the last giant panel before the two TV caption panels, you can notice that Bruce Wayne's figure. I'm a size relationship guy. That's me. His shoulders are so broad, and he stands out more so than any other figure in that panel.
He does, yeah. And you've got like, I don't know if this is on purpose, but you do have like the lines of the airport, like, look at him.
Mm.
They bring you to him as everybody is just like pointing to him, and you're right, like he's huge. He's not puffy. He's just solid. He's like this
Yeah, he's
hinge walking
solid. That's
around.
a good word. Brick shit house.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
What's
great.
fun looking at the script pages is they were working full script, and I'm
Yeah,
not sure what they did back then, but the modern process of making comics involves doing a second pass on dialogue after the art has been completed.
Mm.
And not every writer does a second pass, but I personally think that it's important to do that. You always get like surprises when the art comes in, and but what's interesting here is we look at the script and all the dialogue seems to be set and hasn't changed at all. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure what like it just seems like Mazzucchelli, like I guess, remained so close to the vision that there were no changes necessary. And I can kind of understand that. Sometimes I've collaborated and what usually happens, as I explained, is the writer does a second pass on the dialogue. And sometimes like I specifically did acting for the dialogue that was provided for me, and then they'll like take dialogue away or add something, and then like the acting suddenly changes, and it's there's some times where it kind of bugged me. But yeah, I did find it interesting. There didn't appear to be a second pass, and it works great. It's one of the most legendary comics out there. So
yeah. And I wonder if that has anything to do with. They both said that they worked really well together on Born Again and this, and I wonder if Born Again kind of served as kind of, all right, I get what you're expecting now. I know what you're looking for, so that by the time they hit the ground on this, they are completely in sync.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Like they've probably done well.
Before
I
this,
guess
they've done
they only
7
did
issues together.
Born Again.
7
Yeah,
issues,
so
though.
this is yeah. I guess that's enough to and clearly they clicked really well.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of it, too. They just kind of suit each other, and then they had 7 issues to get more in tune.
Check out the bird sketch on that.
I know, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Well, if I were to guess, and this is just speculation, that's all we have. It's he gets the page, he reads it, and then he just has a vision in his head of one or two things, and he just scribbles it down to provide notes for himself later on.
Yeah, that's true. And Loeb is supposed to be. He's supposed to be like really gross looking. The police commissioner here, he's supposed to be really gross looking,
Yeah,
and then
he
surround
succeeded.
himself with these kind of cartoonish, colorful figures to kind of offset that.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
These
because
are
in the
probably the things that they had to have discussions about this stuff.
I think so. Yeah, they described their working process on Born Again as they just talk about it on the phone, and then I assume Miller would write it out because I think they're kind of like they come together, they part ways, and then they come back together again uh, with the script.
Now, how his face was colored is always stood out to me as different in both versions. Because he's got kind of like a
Yeah,
really bright red face in the newsprint, I think, if I remember correctly.
yeah, he does, like rosy cheeked.
And then it's
Yeah,
a little
Like he's
more
a
subdued
yeah.
in the other version.
and he's
But
supposed
like
to be.
that's one of the things, the few things. Like I've noticed a lot of differences, but for some
Oh,
reason
he's
that stuck
quite
out in my
pale in
head.
comparison. Yeah, look at that. It's quite a difference because I know that part of the design of Flash or not of Flash of Commissioner Loeb is that he's kind of a avatar for the rot in Gotham. Um, they really wanted to make you understand, the audience understand, Gotham sucks. Like you have the dialogue at the beginning, but like this guy, he's kind of this. He's gross. He's kind of peeling, and he looks like he's dying in front of you, and then in order to reflect Gotham as you see it, just like really shitty buildings, really shitty cops
Mhm.
who also that I think Flash is designed to offset. Like he is supposed to be, he's the golden boy. He's a smooth faced young man with a haircut you could set your watch to. You
Now,
know, like right here. Look at that.
yeah, and I want to comment on the Frank Miller script for that particular panel.
Which one? This one?
No, the one you were just pointing at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he right there. There's two caption boxes that say the tests. I pray they're negative.
Yeah.
This is the callback to page 2. If you go
Mm.
back to page 2, he
Right,
also
yeah.
says,
Where I hate myself a little bit.
Barbara's flying in. I don't care much. I don't care how much it costs. Trains no way to come to Gotham.
"Oh, it's on the
Yeah.
second page. Like by now, Barbara's gotten her tests back. I only hate myself a little bit for hoping they come out negative."
Yeah.
So Frank Miller's great innovation to comics is creating a musicality with the text.
Yeah.
The repetition of the text enhances the reading experience. And it's beautifully paced. When Gordon sees how terrible the world is, he returns to that thought, the thought that he'll have to raise his kids in this terrible world.
This awful,
And
awful place. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, and that sort of musicality is what some of the best writers in comics have taken from Frank Miller. And I know, like I see it in Dennis Camp's scripts all the time. Tom King does it a lot. It's yeah, it's in
That's
it's
right. Find
kind of
out
like
more from Assorted Crisis events. You'll see that musicality at work.
yeah, and this is when people talk about how influential Frank Miller is, there's like 100 reasons why he's influential, and this is one of them. Is his care and attention to the text on the page.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And what's not on the page? Like this would be so easy to be after all of this would be so easy to have, like, this is where Batman makes his vow. This is where he'll,
Yes,
right? But it's
that
not.
is. Yeah, you're right.
It's just
Because
the loneliness of a man, of a boy without his parents.
and that's a good point, because like I think before Frank Miller, everybody was just like cramming as much words on the page and telling you
Yeah.
exactly what the visuals were saying, and um, yeah, just like too much. Whereas like the visuals are enough.
One of the scenes that's engraved into my mind is February 21st, where he's chopping that brick chimney or whatever it is, that just giant brick display, and then he's kicking a tree down. Like
Yeah.
he's literally kicking a tree down just to show his where he's at. And he's 25 years old. And you know who else was 25 years old at the making of this story was Mazzucchelli, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, draw from that what you will.
And I will say, yeah, having only started going to the gym when I was 38, I can tell you, boy, I wish I had started when I was 25, because you're never in as good a shape as you are then. So he is at the peak of, and he does a great way. He does a great demonstration of that.
Check out
It's
the
also,
trees that are being cut
yeah,
off
these
just before
guys.
you change the page. Like
Yeah, it's
that. That's
because
kind of
this is the
interesting.
original. This is the original version of it where they are cut off, and I do know that this was made for the mass market paperback in mind. Um,
Yeah, because they wanted to work full bleed, but
yeah,
with the with the
you're not
news
getting that with this.
with
Yeah,
printing on newsprint, I think they couldn't do full bleed back then, so production had to sort of cut his art up. It's interesting, that panel is an anomaly though, because on later pages he just like takes the drawing all the way out of the page, whereas I guess he was keeping the lack of full bleed in mind, and that's why he put the borders. But like in future editions, that second panel, or in future pages, like that second panel just wouldn't have a panel border. Like if you
yeah,
go to, I think the best example of this is if we go to issue 3, pages 4 and 5, and I think it's in the mass market edition, page 62 and 63. Like that's the best sort of comparison of like what production did to the art, and then what the full bleed version looks like.
bear
Man,
with me as
Taylor,
I.
I think I might add that to my cart tonight. My
It's
God.
so nice, but I will tell you, figure out where you're going to store it before it gets there,
Oh, I've
because
got a whole
this
row on
thing
my
is
of
this is
artist
bigger
editions.
than
Yeah.
every other artist edition. That's the
Oh,
issue.
is that so?
Yeah, it's bigger than all the rest. I can't fit it with the other
Is
ones.
it bigger than the McFarlane Spider-Man one?
That I don't know, but the
Because
ones I have,
that was like
like, it's
11 by
bigger than the
17, and then it was framed, so we added an extra inch all around the border
it's bigger
too.
than that. Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. It does not fuck around when it comes to. So which one is it?
So what did I say? Issue 3, page 4 and 5, which
Page
on the
4.
floppies, like production put numbers on the bottom of the page,
Oh
whereas
yeah.
on the original art, like Mazzucchelli didn't do that.
Uh he does on some of them. 50, but he's numbering them like 55.
Oh, okay, yeah, but yeah, on the newsprint, it's
Yeah.
you can wait,
Yeah, it's
go.
weird. It's very inconsistent.
Mm.
But chapter 1, 2. Ah, okay, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, because
Wrangling these books.
yeah, you can see where production for the floppies trimmed it,
Yeah.
and both pages are a good example of this.
Yeah, because this isn't going all the way to the edge. It's like they just like, nope, this is where we're cutting it. For they're like, this is where the page ends, whereas this is actually more of a the floppies is more of a faithful representation of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because this doesn't like there's paper around, like he hasn't drawn all the way to the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, but that's the sort of thing that you get when they're trying to make a deadline, or somebody in production is given a directive for whatever reason.
Yeah, what's
And
interesting is in the mass market one, the last panel is sort of cut off, which you don't see a lot of in the. Well, I guess you see it every now and then later on. Huh, interesting.
yeah, yeah, because this is like the cut line, so I guess that's where it goes to. But that's production, not storytelling, which is what we're here to talk about. Oh yeah, those vellum editions.
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
one of the best parts of that, isn't it?
it
Yeah.
really is. Yeah. Uh,
So yeah, if we go to like page 8 of the first issue, the
mhm,
script, I just find this stuff fun, but like the script specified that this fight happens in Gordon's garage, and so
right.
you see scribbled notes of Mazzucchelli writing like parking garage. Does he live in an apartment or a house? Which
Mm.
these are a lot of the things you have to think of as an artist
Yeah.
often, and so I guess Frank Miller envisioned this in a a regular house, but it's a big city, and so he made it Mazzucchelli made it an apartment garage instead.
Which makes sense because he's giving thought to where would Gordon be living? What is his salary like? It's a shitty city with, the tax base is real low. I'll bet police lieutenants are not making a whole lot. And yeah, he's gotta be in the city. He has to live in the city. He's not living out in the Palisades where Bruce Wayne lives.
Yeah, like
And it makes a lot more sense.
that's a good point, because if you go to the previous page, like the visuals we associate with Bruce Wayne are, he lives in a house,
Yeah,
and
it's this
everything
palatial
outside of Bruce
area.
Wayne is dirty, grimy city.
Yeah, everything is clean out here. Even the trees are bare. They're streamlined almost, and but in the city, and it makes more sense story wise as well. Like, well, Barbara can't be too close, right? She can't be so close that she hears something from just outside her house. It has to be several floors down through concrete, so that when Gordon gets the shit kicked out of him here, it he's not going to get rescued. There's
Yeah,
only him. And it also gives him the ability to just surround Gordon with all of this darkness, right? It's
yeah,
it's
very
just
well
closing
done.
in on him
A
more
lot
and
of
more and
silhouettes.
more. Yeah, till you get to this where it's not even him. It's just the shape of violence brought upon him, which feels, now that I know a little bit more about him, feels very Mazzucchelli. Like, no, I'm going to give the image of violence. This is violence distilled. He doesn't talk like that, but he sounds like a very
He doesn't
sounds
talk
like a
like
very
that, man.
soft-spoken, calm man. But I am not, so that's what you get. Um,
Yeah, and then on the next page you get Bruce Wayne going into the city, and this is
yeah,
the taxi driver Travis Bickle scene.
yeah, you're right. This
Yeah.
is Taxi Driver through and through, right? I'm
Yeah.
saving Jodie Foster, or I'm going to attempt to.
Yeah, that's totally like that. That's a Jodie Foster stand-in right there at the
Yeah,
bottom.
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember reading this the first time I was a teenager, 13, 14 years old. I can't remember, but I was very like taken aback by the reality of this whole story, specifically where he
right.
attempts to save Holly from her pimp. And in doing so, she turns around and stabs him in the leg. Like
Yeah,
that was really surprising to me. I never really, my mind wasn't really open to stuff like that
why wouldn't
at
somebody
that
want to be
time.
saved?
Well, yeah, and
No,
that's the
Exactly.
no.
beauty of
Why
Frank Miller
wouldn't
as well,
someone
is
want to be
character
saved?
complexity. Like
Yeah,
Exactly.
that character is complex. Yeah, if this were a simpler story, it's just, oh yeah, she's a heroine that needs to be saved. But
yeah.
Some Stockholm syndrome going on though.
I also love that he drops out a lot of this detail. You do not need like towers, skyscrapers. You just need the ramshackle, planless feeling of just some shitty street covered in detritus. It feels anywhere from uh, uh, Taxi Driver to like RoboCop. Just the urban decay, which again was a goal of Mazzucchelli, is to show Gotham is awful. Everything about it is reflecting that. It
Hmm.
needs Batman.
Yeah.
Batman has to be here. There has to be a reason for Batman because, you know, we've all heard and I'm sure we're all tired of it too, the criticism like Batman could do a whole lot more if he invested in public housing stuff. But like that goes to trying to drag the real world, or trying to drag comics into the real world. But I think what Mazzucchelli and Miller are trying to do is, no, I'm dragging you into this world of ink and paper. This is Gotham here. It's filthy. It's covered in bottles. Teenage sex trafficking victims would prefer to stay with their pimp than some random man who might be trying to save them.
This must have been crazy for an '80s comic to
Right?
have like prostitution and pimps and stuff showing up, and like a big two comic showing up on newsstands.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Selena saying, "Oh, geez, can't be Vice. We're paid up. Just some idiot out to get himself killed." And then a guy weakly saying, "Selena, don't stop now."
She's a
You
Guys,
see how he
dominatrix.
gets away with
she
all of
is.
that? Everything is left up to your imagination, but you can, I mean, it's
Yep.
also still very rooted in reality, right?
It's just occurring to me now. Is Mazzucchelli doing? These are not pasted on. These word balloons. Some of them are, like some of the captions, but these feel very drawn on.
Who's credited as letterer?
Todd Klein.
Oh yeah, one of the best letterers to ever do it.
And this is
Mm.
actually one of the first times where I saw emphasis in dialogue. And I want to speak to like with
Oh,
Holly. Come on, you guys, like stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah, just like
Like,
everybody gets a their own voice, which
yeah,
that's a trap that a lot of writers fall into, where everybody has the exact same voice. But that emphasis you speak on is like you hear the difference in her voice every time she speaks.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And I feel like he kind of gives her, like, the acting of everybody is going along with it. Like Bruce, just like, I'm making as few movements as possible. I already know the knife is coming, and I'll just dodge it. Uh, the way that the pimp uh, like kind of looms over Holly, the way Holly presents herself is like, I'm just a little girl, and then only to reveal, come
Yeah,
on, you guys, I got him, and then just stab him in the leg. Boom, boom.
and the
It's just,
physicality of Catwoman as well. Like
oh yeah,
she seems very acrobatic.
very lithe.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm.
This pose comes from Lewis.
Richmond
Richmond
Lewis.
Lewis.
Richmond Lewis. Thank you. I was
She
like, it's
posed for
long,
that.
and I was like, it's something.
Mm.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she
Wow.
Catwoman and Sarah Eason are both based on catalog models that showed up in a bunch of catalogs that were at the Mazzucchelli house,
Mm.
but that pose specifically is her crouched down.
Oh, very
Um,
cool.
well, yeah, it's this is also, is this the first time? This is the first time I'm seeing this sort of thing. This non-representational look of something like light. We'll see
Oh
a
yeah.
better example of it
Mm.
as we go on. But when I was reading this for the first time, is like, I don't know, 19, I guess. Yeah, 19, I think. It was the first time that I had seen anything that was like, I'm going to give you the feeling of police lights going off. It's not actually what it looks like.
Well, in the newsprint version, The kind of like the cross
Let's take a look.
lines from the police lights is like very directional from when Batman, Bruce Wayne punches Selina in the second to last panel, and then immediately the like Mazzucchelli uses those lines to direct you from the silhouette of Bruce Wayne to Holly over Selina, and then back to
Oh,
Bruce
yeah.
Wayne. Like it's very just like you're just taking everything in because the arrows are all there, or the arrows or directional lines are all kind of taking you each which way. Your eye goes this way, up and down, side to side, and it
Yeah,
doesn't really stop anywhere. You have to like you're taking it all in because the line's leading you back, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
very well done. Yeah.
But then you kind of lose that in the absolute recolored version. Um,
Oh,
the
really?
red lights are actually a little bit darker and they blend in with the background a little bit more. If you want to show that, Taylor,
It's more of
there.
a monochromatic
Right.
pen
Yeah.
because it's nothing but
Oh
inks.
yeah, it is kind of drowned out almost.
Yeah. Drowned
Um,
out is a good word for it.
that's interesting because yeah, I'm all right. We've talked about this before, but which coloring style do you prefer?
Well, no, we're talking about it for the first time, actually. Uh,
It's an inside
and
joke for nobody but us three.
Yeah, this is the second time we're filming this.
yeah, yeah. Overall,
But,
it's the
um,
second time. Yeah. And
but yeah, okay. Which one do you prefer, Taylor?
I prefer the newsprint. I think
Why?
it
Why
looks
is that?
I think it looks because it's such a gritty ass comic. You need the feel of just this limited color palette. They only have like 64 or 68 colors with the way that the percentages of CMY, cyan, magenta, and yellow interact with this type of paper at the time. So I don't know. For me, it
It's
just
so pure
feels
comics,
correct.
right?
Yeah, it just feels right. I don't know why. Even though it's lesser in some ways, that just kind of helps sell the starkness of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for old newsprint,
Yeah,
um, but
because this even
you know,
has
I
the
can't help
feel of it.
what when I compare the two, I can't help just what feels more aesthetically pleasing to me, and I love the colors more in the mass market trade paperback version, and I do appreciate the line work more in that one. The line work, like
Well,
Mazzucchelli's
that's
line
true.
work, is
Yeah.
more crisp, whereas like on the newsprint, it kind of fuzzes out a bit, which in its own way is good because it sort of blends everything together. But you know, as an artist, I love to study the line work, and so you get more a pure line on the trade version, and
Well,
the
for two
colors
hundred
are
and
just
fifty
exceptional.
dollars plus shipping, you can see the crisp ass as hell line work of Mazzucchelli here.
It's so tempting and so pricey, so
It
pricey.
yeah,
really is. Yeah, I have not. No, that's not true. I was about to say I haven't even bought another one since, but that's not true. We'll probably see the one I bought after this at some point.
yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
go to the next page, something I find interesting about there's a note that Mazzucchelli writes on his roughs,
Hmm.
because we should say that we do get in the absolute edition, and I think in the artist edition too, we get the roughs and then we get the final inks, but we don't get the in between
Yes.
stage of the pencils.
Yeah.
So there in the roughs we get a lot of notes about what he will adjust for the pencils. But we can see here that I think he notes Gordon beat up, and the beat up parts of Gordon, I guess, weren't figured out in that early stage, and so I mean, I think maybe he did a lot of the detailing work of his beat up face in the inks, but I'm not fully
Yeah,
sure.
that would make sense because there's not a lot of. One of the great things about these is that you get to see where he actually deletes a lot of detail. I mean, even just the cover of this, you can see like all of this is whiteout.
Oh, wow. So he put detail, like he figured out the muscles and everything, and then realized what I gotta get rid of that.
Yeah, like
It's
he put
unnecessary.
shadow down, and yeah, and he's even like sculpting the cape a bit with detail with whiteout there, and yeah, he's moving things around and giving highlights there. So it's
He's
pretty.
painting with black and white.
Yeah, because one of the things about his, and we'll get to it when we get to the actual Batman costume, but one of the things about it is he has a very specific vision for it that is kind of in direct contrast to a lot of the Batman work that had been previous. Um, but
But
until then,
but speaking about the pencils, because I think there were maybe 3 penciled pages at the back of that artist edition, and so it's
uh,
fun. It's interesting to compare just how messy the roughs are, which obviously they're roughs, they're supposed to be messy, and then just how clean and precise the pencil pages are. And the pencil pages we have are there's a little bit of inks in on it, so you can kind of see what he's inking on.
I don't think there's anything. Not
I think
not
there's
in
like
this.
2 or 3 pages. It's probably right before the roughs.
Well, the roughs are throughout. So the roughs are at the beginning of
Oh,
each
okay.
chapter.
Well, okay, then in the absolute edition there are
Yeah.
like 3 penciled pages.
At the end?
Yes, or probably before the scripts and the roughs. Yeah, okay, they'd probably
Hmm.
be, or they might be in the other book. Uh,
Yeah, this is yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
if you look at those pages, it's fascinating because of how much work he's doing with ink, just how little he has to work with. He's basically, to some extent, he's drawing with ink, which you kind of have to if you need to pump out these pages. If you need to, do 20 pages in a month, you can't
Yeah.
be too finicky with the pencils. You have to go straight in with inks. And but look at how confident he is with and
Yeah.
what little he's working with.
Yeah. Like you can see he'll drop stuff out, but like there was supposed to be a logo on this kid's jacket, but thought, nah, never mind. Because it's faded here. And he just doesn't ink it.
Huh. And sometimes you get like faces that are like, with the in the pencil stage, like very little has been figured out, and
Mm,
it's just up to his confident incline to do that.
yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to see that we get these because I'm not even sure like how would they even survive, you know?
Well, it's
What are
interesting
the
because it's
what's the
only
difference between this and this?
we only get like 3 examples of this, so I guess he photocopied them way back when, and then just didn't, just those handful of pages, and then just didn't keep up with it.
Yeah, I wonder if it was I'm going to send this to Frank and the editors just as a here's where I'm going.
Oh yeah, and proof that I have started inks.
Yeah. Yeah,
Don't worry, I'm on
exactly.
schedule.
Yeah. But now we're going to get to the this is a great sequence. I don't know how he does it. And maybe this is just me, but it feels like this car is slowly rolling up.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, there's
I
a
mean, I know
vibe
it's a
to that.
static
Yeah,
image. Yeah,
yeah,
it's just he's stalking,
yeah. This is one of my
and
favorite
I
scenes of the
maybe
whole story.
yeah,
Like, and also like just in terms of like just story structure, there's so much established in just issue one. Like we've been talking about issue one for an hour now,
yeah,
and we haven't even finished yet. Like
yeah,
there's so much there that like reading issue one, like you went through so much, and you're just like, oh, and there's still 3 quarters to go. You're like you're sucked right in.
yeah. Like I think you pointed this out the first time that we attempted to film this. This is just setting up like you're drawing your eye here.
Hmm.
Detective Flass, he's off duty, Lieutenant. He probably at the poker party over at Shoots with the guys. The guys. We
Yeah,
know what's happening. We know he
yeah,
doesn't have to say, I'm about to go and beat the shit out of Flass with this baseball bat.
right.
It's
Yeah.
just he's an animal. He's a hunter stalking his
Well,
prey.
not only
And
that, it
then
happens in the same night. Like literally, he gets
yeah,
the shit kicked out of him, and he's like, "Oh, I got something for these motherfuckers." Like
that's a great point. Because this is
instant
happening at the same
retribution.
time.
Yeah,
This is all this is happening as
all in one night.
Bruce is
Yeah,
taken to the streets and getting stabbed and
yeah.
crashing, crawling out, and then all right, well, I'm gonna go and get him, and then this is I love these little details that he's put in here of just the hints of Gordon's classes, including
Yeah.
the little rim light of the lens
Well,
that
it's
would
like
pop out in the shadow.
it's like showing Batman's bat symbol or his ears, here and there. Like
Yeah,
it's a character trait that needs to be, consistent.
that's true, and and he's definitely hit on that. Love the way he shows throwing.
Yeah.
You already know, like, take it.
Well,
I
just
don't
the
need
acting
it.
of how like confident he is in that moment.
And I think again, last time you pointed out,
Yeah,
there.
there's a fun thing with the gun there, which he does this a lot throughout the roughs.
He does,
If you
yeah.
scour through the roughs, you can see he writes tip,
Tip.
which means he wants, which means so originally in his rough the gun was parallel with the panel border, but clearly he wanted it tipped down slightly, and
Do you think that's because it's just like it's uncomfortable visually to see
oh,
the
that's
gun
it has
barrel
to be it, yeah.
parallel, or is it like, well, but it also directs him, like it's actually how a gun would be pointed?
It's more natural to not be completely straight,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
And what's interesting to me is like in modern times you can easily just like rotate it in Photoshop,
yeah,
but back then I guess you had tracing paper and you had all these old fashioned techniques which take 3-4 times as long,
hmm
and the things were a lot more difficult back then, and you still had to get a page a day done.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he
he
did.
had a vision, and he doesn't seem like he's willing to compromise. Like he put
No,
all that work into drawing that gun, and then he said like, no, I can't. Like this needs to be rotated a little bit. It's not working for
yeah,
me.
yeah. He's committed because any more than any other artist, I think of him as like, oh, he is a straight up, like, he's an artiste
He's a
in terms
visionary.
of his thoughts, you
He's
know?
like an engineer, and he knows what works and how it works and how it won't work, right? Like in a lot of
Well,
ways.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's easy to get hired for a gig, and then get hired for another gig that you're not passionate about, and maybe you're working with a writer you don't feel much for, and then you get another gig and you got to pay the mortgage, and then it's easy to get lost in the idea of like, oh, this is just a job.
You're right.
But
mhm.
I think everything Mazzucchelli worked on was a work of art for him.
Yeah. I mean, he
Was not just a
Daredevil
gig.
and Batman are kind of his touchstones. They were his favorite characters when he was a kid, when he
Yeah.
read comics, and I think it kind of feels like after this, he hit. He's like, what else? What other
Yeah,
worlds are there to conquer?
Yeah.
Where else am I going to go with this? My
Yeah.
own stories. That's the only place
imagine
for him to go.
imagine that, just having created Born Again in year one, like
By the
it's
time you're
this.
25,
Yeah.
Yeah.
25. Yeah.
like he was out of he just walked out of art school and got a job. He didn't do good work, and then spent a whole other year working on everything. He's like, it was awful. It was atrocious. I didn't want anybody to see it. He didn't even use his published work as his portfolio. He worked on everything that he felt was wrong in that original gig, and sent in a new portfolio to get work. Right? He's like, it doesn't matter that I can hit the deadline. This is trash work. I do want to this classic sequence. I do want to touch on it. We're not going to last too long on it, but I think this is a very important change to Batman as a character as well, because what you get is like it's giving you this kind of at the end of a book called Batman with absolutely no Batman in it. It's leading you up to okay, we're in the theater, the gun. I love the way that he blows out all the detail from this just because of the muzzle flash. Uh, Bruce Wayne being completely alone. Like there should be, it would be so tempting to put more stuff into this, but we are on this boy
The
and
two spotlights are very effective. Like,
yeah, and like crime is now escaping, like, and then just a shot to his eyes of no, this is something is different in him. And then cut to the man that he will become, his eyes, and like it becomes it. Batman becomes this kind of totemic thing, right? Like it's not oh I'm afraid of bats, which it is, right? Bats they frighten me, but
but it's explicitly solving the problem established early on. Like, these people aren't afraid of me. Like, he got
yeah,
stabbed in the
Yeah.
street, and like
He's
he's
just
not
a
yeah,
menacing,
man,
and then, so
right?
yeah,
this
yeah,
solves
He
that.
had to
exactly.
become
He's
more than
just
just
a
a man.
man.
Yeah.
But what I also find interesting about this too, and this comes back later up in Morrison's run on Batman, is this is the first truth of the Batman. You are never alone. When I ring this bell, if I ring this bell, Alfred will come and bandage my wounds. This is the first time that he is realizing, oh, I can't do this alone. He has to reach out. He needs that support. And it's something that I feel like a lot of writers kind of don't get after this. It's like Batman needs everything. He needs Alfred. He needs and then the cast just keeps growing. Um which leads to yes, father, I shall become a bat. And Eric, I know you wanted to touch on this.
Yeah, there's this again. I mentioned earlier, like Frank Miller had such a profound impact on like the text of comics, and like that could be one caption box. Yes, father, I shall become a bat. But it reads a lot more
Yes, father.
as yes, father. Pause. I shall become a bat. There's like a staccato rhythm to the text.
And then to have that go right into and then he grabs the bell. It's wordless. It's a repeat of this. He's it's not just it's the staccato of it's like the rhythm of everything. Like
Yeah,
it's Miller and Mazzucchelli working together, just like da 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 da. They're creating
Yeah.
a beat that comics has not heard before.
yeah, and when you don't really understand writing comics much, you just think like, okay, you're just gonna come up with dialogue and text. Stream of consciousness. Maybe you're a writer; it's just gonna come out of you. But like, there is a lot more of a math equation going on to a lot of this stuff
Yeah,
from some of the best writers of just like uh, of how it comes out and like how you divide it up and how it reads.
Hmm.
Uh, the best writers in comics put so much work into that.
speaking of, once again, from Dennis Camp, writer of Ultimates and Absolute Martian Manhunter, but we've been talking about artists and writers that work well together. Obviously, we can't do it on his own show, but I think this is a prime example of a great team working
Oh yeah,
together.
and
Synchronicity.
Yeah. Like PB and J.
Dennis does like 8 or 9 drafts of every script because he's specifically trying to find that musicality.
And you can see that musicality right now. Go to your local comic book store, order it. Number 5 should be out now. Number 5?
That was the mid-episode advertisement.
That's right. On to issue 2. We don't have a lot for this, but we did want to bring up
I have a
the
couple
weird.
Yeah, the
things.
comparison of the color of this is
Excellent.
fascinating, and we should say, if it's not clear, that is an overlay.
Yeah, because then he just draws this, and this is the first shot we see of the Batman costume. Right?
Well, I wanted to speak to the frontispieces for each issue too. They're very progressive. So
Yeah.
it starts out with Bruce Wayne getting the idea, I guess, of becoming Batman, and then in
Yep.
issue 2, he's holding the cowl, like he's becoming Batman, and then number 3 is the swarm of bats, swarm, or what do you want to call it? It's like a giant swirl of bats.
I would call it, yeah, I think you're right. I think it is
And
it's just that.
yeah, and it's like the so he basically goes full on with the bats, and that becomes more of the myth, or the he's becoming more than just a man. And
Yeah.
then number 4, you see that in the spotlight, you see half of his figure and the other half is in shadow. It's like it shows that he is established in reality, but he's still got that mythic, superstitious side
That's
of him,
a good call.
right?
Yeah, because
So
it's
people
yeah, you're
know
right.
he's real, but they can't really define what he is at the end.
Yeah, he's
Um,
he's an urban,
yeah,
not myth, but like the people of Gotham do not see him fully. Like
yeah,
Gordon does, but if this were you, this is all you get. You're like, I don't know, man. Like his arms were sharp and he had devil horns or something. His eyes glowed like Satan's asshole. It's
Well, and that's like in issue 2, Flash has a story about that, basically.
right, yeah,
right.
Because
Which
yeah, he keeps saying it's he's not human. I'm just telling you, he's not human.
yeah, a better example of the lights, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. When I was younger, this 20 years ago, this hit me as this small detail hit as, oh, I didn't know you could do that. It started to unlock something in me, in my brain of, oh, it doesn't have to be completely representational. It can just be the feeling of something, which, like,
Yeah,
that's what this whole thing is, right? Is Mazzucchelli giving you the feel of the Batman?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because this is a issue 405, and it's like, think about how long it takes before you even see the shape of Batman. Like
Yeah,
this, you have gone what 1.25 issues without any Batman in Batman.
that's almost a precursor to the when Ultimate Spider-Man came out. It took like 6 issues for that
Yeah,
to happen.
it
So
did.
it's kind of interesting. What's up with that smaller page?
It's a good question. It looks like a lot of the instruction for double page spread cut as shown stuff has been cut out because it just goes
Interesting.
to the cut line. I guess just the production took a lot off of it for whatever reason.
Huh.
Mm,
Yeah, so the sky on that one panel is interesting to compare the colors. This is another panel that really stuck out for me because
yeah,
on the mass market trade paperback version, you get, I guess, real evidence that a brush was used.
you
It's very
really
cool
do.
looking.
Yeah, you get like that has the feeling of an early morning in April. I don't know
Yeah,
how, but but I mean, if you're a painter like Richmond Lewis, you know how to do that.
it's a cool
That
texture.
said, I do think she does pretty good with this. Like the limitations that she's working with, I think she does pretty good.
And we should say that she was using a blue line approach, which was kind of brand new in the 80s.
Oh yeah, blue
Um,
line
I
acetate.
guess
Is that
it,
what it's called?
yeah, which at the back of one of these it goes over. I think at the back of the mass market trade, there's one page that talks about that process, which I think they took from
Yeah.
Europe. Some European artists were doing it, and yeah, it was a way of just they would print out the inks in blue line, and then they would also have the inks as an acetate, and then they
Yeah.
just paint over the blue line, and then every now and then bring the acetate down to see if you're not going, off course.
Yeah, I read a description of it actually. It's like you would tape the acetate so that you kind of flip up and down as you went.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
You can see
you do
every now and
see.
then. That's how Lynn Varley did Dark Knight Returns, and see every now and
Yeah.
then you can see one of her painted pages goes up for sale, and they're just really cool looking. In some ways, that's a kind of a cooler artifact than even the original art for me, because
Yeah.
it's the fully colored paint. It's a painting.
It is. Yeah. I just want to point out this is something that Mike Mignola brings up as his favorite part of this
Right.
panel, and is just on this, just the way this top hangs off of her with like the line, and it's just like this is how it hangs. This is how close, and he calls it. He says it's just so well observed and then realized in this medium
Yeah, it's
that
very
it
It's just
gives.
so
organic.
natural.
Yeah, it just gives
Yeah.
that feel of, yeah, these are real people. I actually do want to also call out, I think this face, the face that he has for Barbara Gordon looks awesome. Like, this is obviously an attractive woman who is living a stressful life. Her
Yeah.
husband is constantly in danger as she is pregnant. It's just, he gives a great feeling of she's weary, but she hasn't been broken,
Yeah.
you know? Colin, you were going to say something about the bat?
Well, I mean, you guys were talking before about which colored version you preferred, and I didn't get a chance to comment
Oh,
on what
right.
I
Yeah.
Yes,
prefer.
Sorry.
please.
But so book one is the mass market coloring, and book two is the newsprint coloring. And I told you guys before that I had preferred the newsprint coloring, but a second go around, and this really is a second go around, it's very hard for me to decide because there's so many
Oh, yeah.
panels in one version or the other that are so perfectly realized. Like if you compare any two panels, you would have to pick one over the other going forward, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to say 50-50. I have to say
And I
50-50.
completely understand that.
Yeah.
I get it.
That first silhouette of Batman jumping on the rooftops, like how can you decide really? Like
I
I would
really
decide the
love
mass
the
market one.
textural painting approach. But no, I get it. Yeah, I mean, all throughout, it's just they're both so cool, which is
Yeah.
why, like,
Yeah.
But
I
then
implore people to go out and get the Absolute Edition. It is the coolest
yeah,
DC Absolute Edition you could buy.
100%. But the if you take the opposite page, just for one more example, where they're stealing the TV set, panel two, where Batman jumps down onto the fire escape. So the newsprint version shows a lot of pink blowout on his cape.
Yeah.
And in the mass market version, it's all gray. I prefer the all gray.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Hmm. It's a good question.
because guess what? It's nighttime, right?
Is
So
it?
in the mass market edition, it's clearly established it's nighttime,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Well, that's probably actually that's a good point. Is that does the coloring does kind of change it, right? You could
Yeah.
read this as the transition from here to here as
Well,
night to morning, but this from day to night.
Yeah.
Huh. The power of coloring, everybody. The power of color. This is actually the first time we see Batman as Batman. And now I finally get to talk about all the research that I did about his design. So you'll have to listen to it. Uh, he hated the blue. He hated that Mazzucchelli hated that the Batman costume had become like dove gray and uh, baby blue for the cowl, cape, boots, and
How
everything.
long was Batman blue for in all
Since Super
Batman's
Friend.
history up to this point?
Since Super Friend.
Uh,
No, actually,
no,
Adam West. Sorry.
Adam West. I think it goes back even farther because Adam West is pulling on stuff like in
Yeah,
the
I remember.
50s, like World's Greatest or World's
World's
Finest. You'll
Finest.
see,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember
But the
some of those where Superman and Batman had their sons playing baseball, like on the cover
yeah,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
but Mazzucchelli, his thought was, it's a bat. Bats
Mm.
aren't blue; they're black. This is like,
Blue isn't
he,
menacing, bright blue.
yeah, yeah. Because, and the reason that happened is because originally the design was black and gray, and in the 30s at least, 30s and 40s, the blue was used as a highlight for black, and for whatever reason, that just kind of spread to the overall design. It just
Mm.
became
Mm.
like, no, it's blue, right? I saw blue, and for this, Mazzucchelli's like, no, black is black. Only there's only definition when there needs to be. There's only highlights when there needs to be. And he even purposely drops out definition on the gray bodysuit as well, because to his mind, and Colin, you can speak to this as a physical trainer. Which, speaking of, listeners, viewers, hit our boy up for a free consultation. How to get
Yeah.
swole like him? Look at those shoulders. He felt that like heavy musculature that Batman would have to be as fast and strong as he is shouldn't have definition under like the thick material that he is wearing.
Well,
So he completely drops it out. Go ahead.
again, to the audience, me and the guys have talked about this before. We're not knocking the blue and gray. Neil Adams, Alex Toth, Jose Garcia Lopez. They
Marshall Rogers.
yeah,
Yeah.
they beautifully realized that color scheme and that costume design. But this is a realist, more quotations, realistic,
Grounded.
grounded take on Batman, and it's
Yeah.
makes more sense to just be all black or at least gray and black. Even the bat symbol, a yellow bat symbol, would not really make sense if you're trying to be in the shadows, you know. Um, but
Yeah.
again, it depends on what kind of story you want to tell. You know, in comics, you can do anything. It's
True.
fun. So
Yeah, and they had a very, I mean, this is an explicitly grounded take on Batman. I mean, yeah, Gordon's the main character because Frank Miller just wanted to write crime stories. But if you wanted to get
Yeah.
paid
This
as a
is
writer,
yeah,
you have to write superhero stories. So he created a crime story with there's Batman in there somewhere, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, and it's a 40s noir set in the Batman universe.
I
Um,
wanted to comment on Flass's story here. So Flass is explaining his encounter with Batman, which is a lie.
he's not
Uh,
human. I'm just telling you, he's not human.
yeah.
yeah, but he's telling a story of himself being a hero, but actually he's like getting a payoff from the gangsters. So I just wanted to point this out because this is a great example of the narrative contradicting the visuals.
Hmm.
There's no text box that says "and Flass is lying." Uh, he's saying that he's apprehending the felons, and then you see the visuals of him taking money from these felons. I think throughout most of comics history, the captions explained what the visuals were already saying. So I think this is a more intelligent way of approaching it.
Yeah,
When we read this, we see the contradictions, and that forces the reader to participate in the story. Uh, I think if a writer can create a situation where we, the reader, have to come to our own conclusions about something, we're more involved, and the story can have more impact.
absolutely. Yeah, and we also get to see the operation of Batman, like what he's. We also get to see what he's fighting against. Like he's taking a payoff for what? Drugs, guns, something. and he's surrounded on all sides.
Yeah.
Um,
Going through this, I'm 51% mass market trade coloring over the
yeah,
You've gone over to my side.
50.1 to
Taylor, you're losing.
51%. Yeah.
I know. It's outrageous. But no, I get what you mean though, because there are moments where it's like, oh, I wish I could take the coloring from that panel in the mass market and put it into the floppy version. But that's not going to happen. So
Well,
I don't
another
know.
thing is actually I wanted to bring up the WB animation film adaptation of Batman Year One. It was directed by Sam Liu and Laurie Montgomery. It's a solid effort at adapting the story. It's pretty much straight from the book. I think it's an hour and a half film, and the story itself is 88 pages, 88, 89, or 89 pages, and there's a lot of direct dialogue. There's a lot of direct compositions in their shots from straight from the pages, and it's a solid effort. And you guys should check it out. It is worth your time. I love Sam Liu. I've loved Sam Liu since I was a teenager. He moved into Sony Animation, Warner Animation. He was originally a comics artist when I was a teenager, and it's a really great story that is adapted very well for the DVD.
Yeah, check it out. It's as I understand it, it's one of the better adaptations that doesn't add weird stuff or miss the point. Yeah, just quickly, we do see a another difference of the coloring. This weird,
That wallpaper is wild.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like marbled ink, whereas here all they have to work with are blue, cyan, and magenta screen tones. They get nothing else. Actually,
That's her showing off. Like, you cannot do this on a regular monthly comic. So I'm going to
absolutely,
show
yeah.
off some of my crazy painting techniques because the that's obviously like a complicated. Well, I don't know how complicated it is, but
It looks pretty complicated because it's not.
to control it would have to be complicated, right?
Yeah, because there's no. She's using so many colors here. You would think that they would have at some point kind of blend into gray, like mix on the board into gray, but that's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, she
So
knows what she's doing.
mm,
yeah, yeah. Great colorist is great at coloring. Uh, this just in.
News at 11.
Yeah. So this is a great way to direct your attention. Just the smoke trail. You keep following it, and as you go, and then just the reveal of boom. They've also been setting up that the blackout panels. There's a couple in issue one. They'll get, and then we'll see them coming up more. Uh, Pretty soon here. Yeah, Gordon hits his head. Blackout. He comes back.
Yeah.
Easton's got him. And Colin, you pointed this out last time. This is a great transition to show just how fast Batman is.
yeah,
It's like he's hunched up over here, and then boom, all of a sudden. Because that's one of the things you can do with comics is time and space. They're the same thing. So if you just cut from one thing to the other, that time has been. You're not skipping over anything. Batman moves that fast.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very cool
Yeah.
scene.
I like that you
Yeah.
said that time and space are the same thing in comic books, um,
Yeah.
because they
I
fucking
can't
are.
I can't remember where I heard that. That's
Isn't that
but
from Understanding Comics?
it might be, yeah. It was a long time since I read
Probably.
it though.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Uh
I'm gonna have to
anyway.
reread that book for a future issue of Assorted Crisis Events.
Yeah?
I
Somebody
Nice.
actually,
wants
I
some
did.
hints for the future.
I did flip through that. Side note, I did flip through that earlier when I was going through my books, and the time lapse section is really great. Where he's like, do you want a cup of coffee? And it showed a guy just saying yeah, and then and then it goes to the example again. Do you want a cup of coffee? And there's like four panels, four silent panels before the guy says yeah, and they're all the same panel. Like that
Mm,
kind of stuff. Comics are,
it changes the
it
feeling.
changes exactly. It changes everything about it.
Yeah. And now we come to
The
a
pen,
great bit.
the penultimate issue.
It is the penultimate. Yeah. This is so. This cat becomes kind of this a theme as throughout this issue, at least. And you can see actually in this the whiteout that he's applied. He has put black detailing on this cat, and then thought better of it and went back with whiteout to get rid of it.
Oh yeah. Well,
Hmm.
so it should be interesting to analyze that because looking at the page in black and white, would you say that your eye is drawn to that cat?
I think so.
Is that
Yes.
where the
Well, 'cause
most contrast is?
it's in black and white.
Maybe it's a
That's a
bit of
good
the
question.
sun, and then that cat.
It kind of leads you down to the cat. You're
I
definitely not supposed to be focusing on Batman. I know that.
Yeah. Well, looking at the colored page, yeah, the lack of detail on the cat is stark because there's just
It
so much
is.
visual information all over the page,
Hmm.
and that's something that he clearly thought of while inking.
Yeah, yeah. Afterwards, it looks like he just went, no, it needs to be more. And that really
Well, that's
serves
the
to.
focal point that he wants you to zero in on.
Well, and it also takes on. There's this feeling here too of because they've already laid the groundwork for this totemic feeling of Batman, and I'm just gonna flip ahead slightly, and that comes back to Catwoman as well, right? He saves the cat. The cat, your eye is drawn to her, and as she goes, where does she go? Right to Selena.
That panel is so cool because all throughout this page, you look at that first panel and there's so much dialogue going on.
Yeah,
There's so much sound effects all throughout the page. There's just a lot of audio going on in my head as I read this,
yeah,
and
and just
multiple
like the
people
background
talking.
sounds, and yeah,
And there's the gunshots, the Rio, the re, the guy gets shot and he goes Ngah! And then a silent panel. And because you have so much audio coming into your head reading this and then silence, this panel is like equivalent to Batman seeing the bat.
it
This
is.
is Selina seeing a cat and I guess coming to a realization, and it's silent for a reason. Like
Yep.
that was there was a lot of thought put into that panel and why it's silent.
Silent with all of this information dropped out too. It's just
Yeah.
Selena and Holly. Everything, everybody else there. There's no background. There's no construction in the background. There's no dilapidated buildings. It's just focus on the cat coming to her.
And also look at her body language compared to her friend's body language. Like
Yeah.
it seems so relaxed and natural, and you get the sense of like an epiphany or something, or
She's accepting like this is what I've been waiting for. I'm greeting the cat with open arms because I shall become a cat.
yeah, because the very next issue, uh, she's wearing a Catwoman outfit, and she doesn't really explain it, and I guess she doesn't really have to.
I don't think she has to. No, I think this is the explanation. We're going to get out of this situation. We're going to stop being sex workers and we're going to be somebody now. We're going to take from people. And then
Yeah,
okay, this
actually,
is going to be a lot to flip back through.
this
Yeah.
is my favorite moment, my favorite storytelling moment of this entire series.
Yeah.
And because if you go back like one page before this, uh, that very first panel, top on the left, it's a callback, and I think it's kind of
Oh
hidden
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because the captions are basically saying like are alluding to there's bats in a cave that I'm calling to, but there's kind of a secondary thing going on here, which is we think we're just looking at the house to because of the bats being referenced, but it's actually like reminding the reader about this tree in the script page.
That
Um,
a man kicked down.
yeah,
That a man kicked down.
in the script, Frank Miller says, "Here's where we get really cute, David," and then proceeds to describe we'll see the tree and we see the house. Uh, this is so this storytelling thing that is my favorite that I'm going to elaborate on. I always thought it was Mazzucchelli that came up with this, but now I'm not entirely sure. The fact that Miller wrote "Here's where we get cute," David, leads me to believe. I guess you said earlier that there was a phone conversation that they regularly talked over the phone. So
Yeah.
I don't know who came up with this, but clearly they had a conversation on the phone, and Frank Miller is, I think, referencing that conversation by saying, "Here's where we get cute, David." But yeah, if you turn the page, um, we see Batman is like about to get caught by the police. He's cornered.
Oh
It's
yeah.
all going to end here.
He's been shot twice by this point, right? Like he is getting shot
Mm.
here. He's already bandaged himself up here. He is in a desperate situation.
Yeah, like everything is going to end here, and basically he just kicks this pillar and then stops everything and gets away. And this is a callback panel to his training when he kicked that tree. It's the exact same pose.
The
It
exact
is.
same composition, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's trying to say that like those training sequences weren't just for show. Like Miller and Mazzucchelli are trying to say that like the training paid off and all this
Yeah.
training was purposeful and it actually saved him.
I think this might be the audience. Let me know if I'm wrong on this, but I think this might be the beginning of who wins. Who wins? Batman versus Spider-Man. How much lead time does Batman have? How much prep time does Batman have? Like he prepares.
Yo, I don't want to get into all
That's
that.
called the that storytelling trope these days is called the Bat God. Like he's always prepared,
Yeah.
Okay.
which I think like some people are not into the whole Bat God thing because your mileage may vary, but like some
Depends on
writers
how
take it
you're
further
pulling
than
him out.
others.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, for the sake of it, I'm gonna say it could just be a happy accident because from issue 1 to issue 3, or chapter 1 to chapter 3, uh, it's not like some. Would you think it's something they had planned all along to pull off that exact same composition for that
Oh,
panel?
we can't know.
We can, exactly.
It's the
So
creative process. It's like nothing comes fully
yeah,
formed. It just
yeah,
sort of like it
Yeah.
hits you one day, and maybe this was something on day one that one of them figured out,
yeah.
or maybe they discovered it in issue 3, or maybe while he's kicking the tree they figured it out. But or it could be in the midst of a conversation one of them said something and that unlocked the idea some other way. The creative process is a fun and mysterious thing. But um, either way, it's just it's a really cool storytelling um, trick that is subtle. They
It
don't
is. Yeah.
they don't yell it at you, and you just have to sort of discover it yourself, which makes it even more cool.
Or watching us, dear listener. Uh, you don't need AI to do the heavy lifting for you. We will. Um, yeah. When I say this is the beginning of like how much lead time, the Bat God thing, I don't mean as in like that was the point. I just mean like this might be the first instance of, well, Batman prepares. So he is prepared, so he'll always like this is the beginning of something that's the kernel of an idea that other writers will iterate on to the point where it's like, yeah, I always have a piece of kryptonite on me in case I have to go beat the shit out of Superman or whatever he has,
Yeah,
right? This is a great sequence as well. Just want to give a shout out to the disappearing of Batman through the bats.
yeah, it's very cool, very well done.
Yeah.
What's up with what does the newsprint look like on the next page? Because the trade version is just black and white, basically, with gray. One uses blue as one uses a bit of blue, and the other just uses gray. So it's an
Yeah,
interesting effect.
Yeah, it's a weird choice. I guess it's memories, right?
Well, it's a sort of epilogue for this
Yeah.
moment. If we also want to look at the last page of this chapter, how the bed is colored, because
Oh, yeah,
this is
yeah,
the one thing I don't really like about, like, my favorite version is this trade paperback colors, but I don't really like this sort of wallpaper effect. It sort of takes me out of the comic because it doesn't look like of this world, I guess. So
It is
that's
a
one
strange
example where I do
choice.
prefer the newsprint.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
It's
Because no, this is weird. Like, this does feel like you've just kind of laid down.
definitely
You've just kind
interesting
of
looking. It
cut
just doesn't
something out.
look of this world. It takes me out of the
Yeah,
story.
yeah. And yet, I suspect that this was more true to life than the to like what an 80s bedspread looks like.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I can see why. I can see the vision behind it.
yeah.
But yeah, now we're on to issue 4, the
Issue
last chapter.
4.
And what is this first panel referencing? What is that painting called?
Nighthawks by Tom Hopper, hence Hopper Diner.
Oh, okay, there we go. What?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's very cool. He's a
You know,
He's a real art nerd.
off
he's
the
a real
bat,
art nerd.
I want to quickly just say Gordon looks shittier and shittier as the story goes by.
Yes.
He does,
Not in terms of
right?
like a shitty drawing, but he just looks so weathered and so
Oh yeah.
tired. And actually, again, reading the story for the first time, I think it was 13, 14, and finding out that Gordon like was a flawed
Cheats on his
character,
wife.
cheats on his wife and has a beard.
Yeah.
That was the criticism the
Yeah.
screenplay got, was Gordon cheats on his wife and has a beard, right?
Yeah, it became
But
a bit of a
I
meme.
was very
Is it really?
disappointed reading it. This is the first time I think ever where I read a comic and I actually hated, for a moment I hated the protagonist. Um,
This, I think, is a great example of the
Yeah.
growing expressionism
yeah.
of that the journey that he is on. Um, he This is not a human face. That's not a human face at
It's a
all.
cartoon face, basically.
It is,
It's
yeah.
High as fuck.
That's true. That's
right
a good
down to
point. Yeah,
right down to the circle eyes, the simplistic expression. So
yeah,
yeah, he's leaning further and further into his expressionistic I don't know, goal.
yeah. And I think we're seeing that, like, he's dropping more stuff out, right? Like, this is Gordon's office. He doesn't even extend this corner line all the way through. It's just enough to say, you know what's here. You get it. It's an office. Don't be so. I mean, that's probably me projecting, but don't, like, it's not that important. It's not so important that you need like all of the stuff, because when we first see uh, Commissioner Loeb's office,
Right, yeah.
it's full of bullshit, right? It's full of tables and bookshelves, uh, all kinds of stuff.
Kind of reminds me of Will Eisner's work,
Yeah.
and how
Oh, I
he
can
would
see that. Yeah.
have certain things like floating in the page.
Yeah. It's
Like you,
just
you
kind of,
couldn't see where the room started and ended, I suppose.
he's abstracting farther and farther from reality as we go, and
Can you find
it hits. I think it hits better when as he drops it out, that now
Oh
we
yeah,
hit
good point.
something like this. It's like, oh
Feels
yeah, this
big.
is quite ornate. Yeah, this is ornate and big, and it just, there's so much going on. This feels like a mansion that a man lives in versus this kind of shitty, dumpy. I think this is also a big focus of this is differentiating Batman and Bruce Wayne. Batman is brooding, he's short and clipped in his thoughts. The staccato um, captions, but Bruce Wayne is portrayed as a super irresponsible playboy, right? He's got some broad from the night before with him in this study. Wine at, it's a little early in the day for us, thanks. Like he is drinking in the morning, or at least appears to be. Like they are
Her
really trying
posture
to
is
make
so
this.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So relaxed and
Yeah, and then he's just like he's a lout, he's a layabout. He doesn't do anything. How could this guy be Batman?
Yeah.
And I think that's actually a focus of this time because I remember reading that John Byrne also really wanted to differentiate Superman and Clark Kent. Clark being the real person and Superman being the mask that he wears.
yeah.
Again, if you go to the right page there in the car, Gordon looks more and more meek as time
I
goes
was about
by.
to
He
bring
does
that
away
up.
with a lot more lines in
Yep.
Gordon's depiction in his face for the close-ups. Like in the first two issues, he's all grizzled and he's got bruises and whatnot. But slowly, slowly, he becomes more of a meek person, I would say.
Yeah, he's becoming more and more tired.
Yeah,
He's softening as
Gotham is
time
getting
goes,
to
and
him, and yeah,
yeah, and you just get and then the reveal of yes, sir, I know about Sergeant Eason. Please don't bother me again. And just this like serial killer pose that he has him here. He's all in black. The shadows are dropping around him. And you're right, Colin. He's just becoming more and more like
like a shell of a man.
yeah, like the number of chins he has is growing, not because he's gaining weight, but almost because he's losing it. Like the skin on his face is hanging off of him differently.
Yeah, well, he smokes like a chimney, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good
You can see the
point.
ashtray there,
Yeah, and his suits are getting more like
disheveled.
little. Yeah, like
Yeah,
there's more lines, there's more dots. They're just getting more and more worn, and
yeah.
and I think a lot of this like dropping out of detail works really well because again you get something like then this
Yeah.
I'm going to put all of this in, right? It hits you. Oh yeah, this is this is Batman we're talking about. It's not supposed to be, it's not necessarily always a grim and gritty crime thing. Sometimes it's high flying adventure. There's a heist that he's stopping.
I really
There's
one other thing
yeah.
is now that you flip to it, I really have an affinity for this version of the Catwoman costume. It,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's probably one of my favorites, and it was Bruce Timm drew from this for the show, um, and it
Feels
just it feels right. I don't think
yeah.
and what was it? Mike no Darwin Cook redesigned the suit for Ed Brubaker's series.
Yeah.
Much along the lines of this, with the addition of maybe goggles and like a leather. It was more of a leather look than a fabric look, right?
Yeah, it was kind of a it was the Emma Peel cat suit.
Right. So it's still in the same vein, though.
It is. Yeah. This feels very much like this is what a very poor woman can throw together.
Right.
I feel like the Matt Reeves Zoe Kravitz version also pulls a lot from this.
Hoo-wee. Yeah.
Yeah. uh,
I do
and
like
I
the
like.
tail has a life of its own as well. You can see in the last panel there on the left.
Yeah, that's the thing that really sticks out with me is there's that tail isn't in any other iteration
Yeah.
of her.
No,
Is
I
it?
think it was. There was some of it in the '90s during
Oh,
the
the
boob
Jim
stock
Gallant.
era.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
back when her boobs had individual compartments in the costume
Gravity
for no
defying.
reason.
Mm.
Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, it is very. that's dropped out quite a bit to be replaced by like a whip that's just kind of wrapped around her.
Yeah.
So the first time I read this was when I was a kid. It was
Damn.
it was at my local library. There was like a small comic section with a lot of asterisks and a lot of what else? Just a
They
lot
like
of European comics, and then they had
eh?
that 80s, like the original, like 1988 uh, Batman Year One trade, and
Hell yeah.
yeah, it was super thin, and
Yeah.
yeah, I read it for the first time as a kid, and this ending really stuck out for me. The pacing is so expertly done,
Yeah.
and so I'm reading it as an adult. I was trying to figure out like why did this work so well for me even when I was a kid, and I think that like most of this is like one page sequences. It's trying to get through an entire year in 4 issues, and so there is
Yeah.
a lot of like one page sequences. Oh, my cat. Ugh. And this ends up being like a 7 page action sequence. It's very fast
Right.
paced,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of tricks that he employs to get that feeling. This is also the end of Daredevil Man Without Fear has this same effect where there's this like extended action sequence and then like a 1 or 2 page epilogue. But
Right.
there's just a lot of captions and dialogue throughout the entire comic. But for this 7 page sequence, he strips it down quite a bit, and I think there's almost as much sound effects as there are captions.
Yeah, it's there's a lot, right? Like from the beginning you get the baby cry, the ring,
Mm.
the screech, like and we see he's dropping more and more detail out. Like
Yeah.
it's almost like he's becoming like this ghost of himself, you know?
Yeah, and that has to contribute to how fast this feels, like stripping out the dialogue and
Yeah.
Yeah.
stripping out the line work makes you read it faster,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and just more sound effects than there are like or just as much as there are caption boxes. It has this ramping up feeling.
Well, you know what else makes you read it faster is what's happening. Like it's very edge of your seat stuff. Like
Yeah,
when just opening the kidnapper opening the door and slamming it against Gordon as he's coming at him with a gun. If you turn the page one more time, Taylor. No, one more time. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
There it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. Like that shot alone already, and he's got his mouth over this infant's, like or excuse me, he's got his hand over the infant's mouth, and like I've got a 3 month old right now. Like this shot right here, I'm not gonna say it triggers me, but I'm like, dude, this guy's being really careless with that kid.
yeah. I mean,
you know?
understandable. Yeah,
Yeah.
But you're right, yeah, and but it's even like the cuts from each panel,
Yeah.
right? Like there's oh, and this is interesting. There's this blue line that runs through that I think is supposed to be indicating for him the shot goes off and Barbara ducks in order to like, okay, where are these lined up? Will she get hit? No. No, she won't. This guy does. But the cuts from yeah, like bang, it's just so kinetic and frenetic at the same time. But you're right, Colin. Then we get to it's crashed immediately. It's open, right? There's no interior of this car with the guy going, shut this goddamn kid's gotta shut up and timing it. It's just slam, fall, dive,
yeah. It just
and
moves so
then
quickly,
and
and
then
then we get a kind of
yeah,
a slow mo.
yeah.
Well, further to that, you don't see the criminal drop the baby. You only see the baby in
Good
free
point.
fall. And that is a shock to your system, right? You
Yep.
see Gordon engaging with the criminal, he's fighting him off, but nothing to do with the baby. You just see a silhouette of Bruce Wayne, doing his acrobatics. And then all of a sudden, you just see the baby in free fall. You don't know how it happened. It just happens. And you,
Yeah, the only indication you have is that the arm that he was holding him with is now out.
it could be that.
It could be.
But
That's
panel
You're right.
3,
That's the thing. It
it's
doesn't need
very
to be.
ambiguous too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the intercutting helps with that actually. Going
Yeah.
back and forth between Gordon and Batman, like it gives the sense that like things are happening so fast that like you're missing out on details. And one of those details is suddenly before I even realize it, the baby is flying through the air.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's almost like the memory of something happening. Like, I don't remember when the baby dropped. I just remember
Yeah.
seeing him in air.
Like if you
And I don't remember seeing someone jump after me. I just remember
Yeah,
him being there and having the baby.
like
And
this
then,
is how it felt, right?
yeah. And he's just like, he is so like it's his own face is hanging off of his face, you know?
yeah.
It's just such an effective sequence, and I think it works even more possibly because there's just a one-page epilogue and then it's done.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
Grant,
that sort of like services how quickly, how I don't know how impressive that climax is.
It really is, and you don't need anything else. It's just the court, Judge Norton on the case, Loeb getting thrown out, and then yeah, Sarah's in New York, doing well, I hear. Barbara's not crazy about the marriage counselor, but we're making progress. As for me, well, there's a real panic on. Somebody's threatening to poison the reservoir, the Gotham reservoir. Calls himself the Joker because there's no supervillains in this at all. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't even
There's
call
only
Catwoman at this point a supervillain, right? She's a thief and she's lightly themed, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
like again, Frank Miller just wanted to write a crime story.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, pretty
And then
much. There's only one mention of Superman in the whole thing.
yeah, that's right. Just and it's not even by name. It's just like you
That
don't need
fellow
a.
in Metropolis.
Yeah, it's during the when Barbara is giving Gordon a massage and saying, "Oh, you don't have to go to Metropolis for a Man of Steel."
But also Alfred brings it up when he was doing that
Oh, okay.
facade. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just, and then this is what you get with a lot of with these artist editions. Just ooh ah
Yeah.
Very cool.
So
oh,
you guys,
it's like a magic trick.
what are your guys' closing thoughts on this one
My favorite Batman story.
of all time?
Yeah.
There is a debate that will go on until the end of time, which is
Yeah.
which do you prefer, Dark Knight or Dark Knight Returns or Year
Look,
One?
I respect my Dark Knight Return brothers and sisters, but
You're a Year
for
One
me,
guy.
yeah, I'm a year one guy. It is noir. I love noir. It's grounded. I love that approach to Batman, and I love that it is not doing what is commercial or safe. It takes so long to get to Batman. It takes so long to get to, and it's not about him at all. It's about Gordon and the effects that Batman has on the city. And I love that it's a new approach at that time to Batman.
You know, what I will say is, I'm not going to have a favorite, but this
You
since we're
wait,
talking
what?
about year one,
Between the two,
hey,
Dark Knight and
hey,
Year One, because we've had this debate before, and you
here,
you took a side.
hey.
Now
No,
you're
no, 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 no. This is for the show, right?
yeah.
We're talking about Batman Year One, and I think Batman Year One is a perfect example of how the writing and the art go hand in hand. It's a perfect symbiosis, or
Yeah, definitely.
whatever you would call it. Like I mean, I even like whenever I read stories by Frank Miller with another artist, I think of other stories of Frank Miller with another artist, like Man Without Fear with John Romita, right? John Romita Jr., where he's talking about, and I brought it up before in a previous episode, where like Matt Murdock is slipping through a gate and the captions are "Your ribs can flex, let them." You remember
Mm,
that?
yep.
Perfectly. The art and the writing go hand in hand in that
Yep.
example, right? And
Yeah.
again, year one is another perfect example of that. And I'm not going to say what's my favorite, if it's Dark Knight Returns or year one. I'll say I love them both equally for this episode.
You're at 50-50 again. I think we've established Colin's a fence sitter in all aspects of life because I'm a Dark Knight Returns guy.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to one day sway Colin to 51% onto my side, as I did earlier in this episode.
Ah,
Well,
rank
I mean,
betrayal.
we've talked amongst ourselves behind the scenes. You know how I feel.
Wait, yeah, okay. So yeah, did you guys do art this week?
Uh,
You know it.
yeah. So I did a illustration of Jim Gordon from the scene where he confronts Flask after they beat him up. And I've got the Faber-Castell colored pencils, which I've started using. I used them on the
Nice.
Manhunter illustration last week. Well, depending on when this airs, but I used them first on the Manhunter illustration, and I'm using them now just to get the hang of them. I haven't worked in color for a long time, but I think that it turned out pretty all right. And like I said, like year one, a lot of scenes in this book were are just engraved into my brain. Same with Dark Knight Returns, and the scene where he confronts Flask is one of those scenes. So I decided to go with that.
Mm, nice. Very
Cool,
cool.
cool. So me and Taylor can't see this art because it's not done yet, but everybody watching can see it right here. And I assure you, me and Taylor are very impressed. I'm speaking for you,
Yep.
Taylor.
Thanks.
You fucking
Somebody's got
liars!
Taylor, what did you do?
So the stress of this episode, before the technical difficulties that necessitated this second recording, led me to art about it. So I ended up doing three that are varying levels of success. This is the first, uh,
Hooey,
Oh, very
dude.
cool.
which it's I liked the colors that came out on this, the shading and everything. The pose, it wasn't as dynamic as I was hoping for.
I like the
So I
highlights.
then
The lighting is
thank
pretty
you,
Yeah,
good.
coloring wise is the best thing you've ever done in your entire life.
thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Oh,
that
yeah, hold on.
because.
Just wait until he puts the second one down. That might
But
end
no,
up.
no, I think this is the best. I think this is the best coloring
Well,
because
thus
I
far.
purposely held back. Uh, it's weird to approach coloring as highlights are you not doing anything or you doing so much less. It's which I think we can all agree that's not really my personality. Holding back, no.
Yeah.
Secondly, I feel this is a real failure. I was
What?
disappointed with this. I don't like the anatomy. I've been working on anatomy. This is not it. This just ain't it.
You should have led with this one.
I know, right? But this is going chronological.
Yeah.
So after this, I decided, no, you know what? What I got to do is I have to lean into Mazzucchelli's ethos, and I went kind of more symbolic, and like Colin, went with inspiration from my favorite. This is full realization of yes, Father, I shall become a bat. But again, the colors they're not as good as the first one, but I think the composition is
You know, it's not
more interesting.
Very
it's
cool.
not that I
Yeah.
have an aversion to purple or something. I just the blue is more my like if you go to the first one is by default my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, the purple it was difficult to get a handle on just because it's a lot more. These are all watercolors, and it's a lot more translucent
It
than I
really
was expecting.
I find purple really sucks in the blue. It sucks life out of the blue. It sucks life out of the red. It's kind of like this in between that I'm not comfortable with. I've tried
Well,
coloring with
it's
purple and
isn't
it
it in
just
between warm and
bothersome.
cool?
Yeah,
It
and I
is,
don't
yeah, and
like
it's
being there. I want one or the other. to be honest.
It's definitely a color I need to get better acquainted with because the way to use it is not this. So, but if anybody wants to take these off my hands, let me know.
They're
For a price,
reasonably
of course.
priced.
They are reasonably priced.
They are. It's
Plus
a
shipping.
3-digit number minimum.
Yeah. 3.50.
350. All right, Eric. What about you? What are you working on these days? You obviously don't have anything prepared for this episode, you bastard. But what else you got?
Yeah, I'm drawing a monthly Image comic. Issue 5 is should come out next week of Asura Crisis events, and then there will be a 3-month break, and then we're back to monthly for Arc 2. So I gotta bank more issues. And
Make
it's not
sure
easy.
to buy issue 5 so that there is no question that issue 6 is coming out. And trust me, Colin and I have seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen the work that he has put into it.
Yeah.
You have not seen anything like this anywhere.
Yeah, I think
This
I've said it
pretty excited
before.
about
I
issue
think
5
when we
now.
had Dennis on, issue 3 is my favorite, but issue 5 is Eric's best work.
It's his best work. Yeah.
Issue 3 is my favorite. Issue 5 is his best work. Eric's best work.
Yeah.
Oh well, thank you guys. Yeah, I can't wait to get it out there because it's it's a great script.
Yeah,
And
it is.
Everybody on the team pulled out all the stops because I think it's Jordy's favorite issue as well, issue 5, and so she pulled all the stops on that issue. Haas did an amazing job, and we got Tom Muller designing every issue, and he's doing this fun thing where the logo changes every issue, and it's always great. So yeah, everybody on the team is firing on all cylinders.
Right on.
Yeah.
And it's I do want to point out that it's everybody on the team has a stake in it. This is Image Comics, so we're all about that ethos. So yeah,
the almighty
eye.
Everybody
all it
gets
produces.
Yeah. Right on. All right. Let's close it out. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and we will definitely see you next time.
Cool.